YouTube has finally protected me from all of you. You can dislike this video all you want and you'll get less satisfaction while giving me more reason to avoid my analytics. So by now this isn't news. The dislike or downvote feature of YouTube has been removed, and in its place is this sleek word, dislike, along with a message that tells you feedback shared with creator. The transaction is over and hopefully soon forgotten by everybody. That's the fix. What's the reasoning for this? Well, let's listen to YouTube's explanation, and you can tell me what makes sense here.
Hey folks, you may have seen a while back that YouTube announced it was experimenting with making dislike counts private to only the creator of the video. Now, if you're like me, you were surprised by that. I mean, I've always thought seeing the number of dislikes on a video helps us know as viewers if it's a good video or not, if it's a helpful tutorial or not, or if what a creator is saying in their video is generally agreed with or not.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so we've set the stage.
But unfortunately, research teams at YouTube have found there's this whole other use for disliking a video that I had never experienced as a creator, and you may not have either. Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning.
Okay, first of all, research teams at YouTube. That's it. That's all we get. Nothing more, no analysis, no splash screen of some stats. Just you are to trust that research teams at YouTube are just now discovering that raids happen on channels where dislikes are handed out, or bots attack a channel and dislike their videos. So we're already setting the stage for the dishonest BS that we're about to hear. It's just an absolute bald-faced lie. What is going on over here? Ugh, I don't want to watch that.
It into something like a game with a visible scoreboard. And it's usually just because they don't like the creator or what they stand for. That's a big problem when half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice. So earlier in 2021, YouTube experimented with making the public dislike count private to see if it would help reduce these coordinated dislike attacks across the platform. And after analysis, they did see a reduction. So the update from YouTube is that the
Analysis. Did you guys catch that? There was an analysis done. What analysis? Well, that's none of your goddamn business.
dislike button is staying, but the dislike counts will now be private. You can still dislike videos, and that action will be used to tune your own recommendations, but you won't be able to see the dislike count.
So this is exactly the kind of thing that happens when corporate types have made a decision, then slap together a research team and tell them to go get the results that they need to back up said decision. That's not research. You can cherry pick YouTube all day long to come to any conclusion you like. YouTube is being too cowardly to say, this is our company, this is our decision, and you can either get on board or go be a crybaby somewhere else. If there were actual researchers doing research, they would be proud of their hard work and want to share the results of what they've done. So what they haven't told us is if they've changed anything else about the dislike button. Does it still count in the algorithm rating? Does the act of downvoting a video still count as an interaction? Are we hiding anything else about it besides the truth of how bad a video is?
Only the creator can find it on the back end if they want. Now, a few common questions we saw from the initial experiment. First, without a public dislike count, how can viewers tell if a video is worth watching? Again, I kind of had this question too, but it turns out that while viewers might use the dislike count to give them a sense of a video's worth, when the teams looked at the data across millions of viewers and videos in the experiment, they didn't see a noticeable difference in viewership, regardless of whether they could see the dislike count or not.
Okay, there is simply no way that that is true. The researchers are at it again, looking at data. It's just, that's just not real. So let's say, for example, a tutorial video about changing the battery in an M5, which devolves into narcissist drivel by some Russians showing off their wealth, and doesn't get around to changing the battery. You're telling me that that video will have no relationship between its total watch time and the number of downvotes. Uh, let's say any Let's Play video with 200 dislikes and 1 like will have the same exact watch time, or not a big noticeable difference in watch time, as a video with 200 likes and 1 dislike. That's, there is no relationship, you're telling me. Uh, no, they didn't research. That's just not reality. And look at how comfortably he slings this lie. Look at how easy it just rolls off of his tongue. It's no wonder YouTube chose this guy for us for this job.
In other words, it didn't really matter if a video had a lot of dislikes or not, they still watched. Next.
No, yes, it does matter. And that's another easy lie that this guy is just flinging out there for us. Okay, I'll shut up.
Next common question. If creators can still see the dislike count on the back end, how's that any different? They can see it if they look for it inside Studio Analytics under the Engagement tab. But overall, it's much less likely to cause stress and embarrassment if the count isn't visible to the public. And one more common question, is this because YouTube Rewind got lots of dislikes? No, although there are some teams internally who have learned the hard way what it feels like to get lots of dislikes. Now,
yeah, it is because of that. There's just no way it isn't. It was actually the most disliked video in the history of YouTube, the 2018 Rewind. And I know that the 2020 Rewinds was way up there too. It was some astronomical number. Okay, well, it's not on this list, but yes, it is because of that.
Now, this again is about protecting all creators and making sure they have a chance to succeed and feel safe in doing so. All right, so that's the update. I hope it doesn't cause too much frustration. Honestly, I think you're going to get used to it pretty quickly. And
okay, well, do we have a choice? Safe from what? Criticism in this case, and the most mild form of criticism on YouTube, a simple counter which shows how many people didn't like a video. Now, do raids happen where a creator is unfairly singled out for undue disliking? Yes. And we had the answer to that. The option to turn off the like to dislike ratio, which creators have had for quite a while now. But then, of course, people will criticize creators for using that. So what then? We lower the bar for everybody because apparently YouTube can't create an algorithm robust enough to detect a massive influx of downvotes on a video. They can't get rid of the hundreds of millions of bots which infest YouTube and take part in these attacks. And instead, they assemble a team to research a way to make that decision make sense. And they failed. Look at the bigger picture. Over the past couple of years, creators have been restricted by a lot on what they are allowed to produce. And it is squeezing the life out of a platform which once flourished with good creators who were relatable, who had opinions, and had bad days. The general moods among creators is probably similar to that of people who lived under Stalin. Your every word is being checked by the faceless secret police or the dreaded algorithm against an enormous list of unapproved speech. And that's before you even throw in the wokeness. Your personality has to be well-trained, more artificial, more ad-friendly. It's all about the ads. Meanwhile, viewers are now subject to that same type of treatment if they wish to leave a comment. I have seen this time after time where I get a notification on my phone that someone commented on a video. And in the first 3 words, they have insulted me like 2 times. Not even with profanity, but it wasn't a nice comment. So I go over to the studio to see what happened to it, and poof, It's like it never happens. I can get back to sucking while being accused of deleting comments, and the rest is just because YouTube cares. I don't delete comments, by the way. Being bad at stuff is kind of my theme, so they just ruin a potentially good troll. The point I am trying to make here is that creators and viewers are slowly being pushed farther and farther apart. I, as a creator, have to change my mindset and personality and goals in order to exist here. You aren't receiving what I intended you to have before I press the record button. I'm not receiving your feedback, conversations, comments, anything which the algorithm finds to have harsh language or whatever it looks for. It just drops off of existence. You have to go to another platform just to converse with your audience. Two people aren't going to have a real conversation when they both know that they are being closely watched. This brings me to my last point, that if creators are being protected, why not cut the foreplay and just get rid of comments, which can screw someone up way worse than a downvote, by the way. That is not far off, folks, and when that happens, that will be the corporatized death of a platform. In fact, the research team here at Mike Tannick looked at the data which showed everything that I just said is true.